What's up to those loving web design and development? Welcome back, or for the first time, to DLJ Works, where all things related to web dev and design is taught and discussed. I first encountered dreaded dev one day, I believe in late 2017, scrolling and searching for general web design and development videos on YouTube. I believe I was bumming around just wasting time watching videos. I then stumbled upon this fascinating character with the thumbnail of a dreaded white guy appeared on my feed. I immediately thought, here we go again with another Woodstock hippie wannabe white guy, which, to my dismay, I would later discover he is in fact Puerto Rican, but more on this later. I clicked on his video, and to my surprise was highly amused while cringing at the unnecessary profanity. In one video, I think he was smoking a blunt or just finishing one as smoke exhaled through his nostrils and mouth. Despite this, I continued to watch because I found him to be very charismatic, fun, and exuding this charm that was different from other web dev videos I viewed. Even a profane intro, a whole lot of code, y'all know what the time it is, was beginning to be seared in my subconscious. Then one day, he became a magician. Poof, just gone, vanished without a trace. And that's hard to pull off online these days. At the time, he began doing coding tutorials in CSS and more. I Googled as many keywords related to his disappearance as I possibly could. Not a single result displayed a remaining profile on him, which is why we are here today. Let's analyze some possibilities. In beginning this analysis part, now that we have the backstory out the way and my whole encounter with dreaded death, technically, hypothetically, an encounter, given that I started watching his videos on YouTube, one of the things that I wanted to go ahead and bring up that I discovered in just searching, just typing in the keywords, what happened to dreaded dev on Google, Googling that, and this article that I did not find during the time that dreaded dev deleted his YouTube channel and every other account he's had that ever has existed, is this article by Treehouse founder Ryan Carson. And it's very interesting, it's very telling in terms of what dreaded dev has actually been through, the things that he's experienced, why he got into coding. He has a really, I want to say, underdog story. It could be heartbreaking. It's very much so heartbreaking. There is a detail in there about what happened to his mother, and if I scroll down, it tells us that, or Ryan Carson actually talks about, no, not Ryan Carson, but Ryan Carson is writing it, but this is actually an email that dreaded dev himself sent to the Treehouse founder. And I want to try to find that paragraph in terms of what happened to his mother, and it's really sad, and then the visual is just really heartbreaking. My mom's boyfriend at the time took her out on a date. My mom never came back from that date, Ryan. Her boyfriend was upset. She was pregnant, so he beat her, then shot her 9 times in the stomach. She was 8 months pregnant, then dumped her body in the forest. He then went back to his hotel room, had dinner, took a shower, then he went to bed. He called the cops on himself next morning after breakfast and told them where the body was. Even me reading this, it's just very disturbing and just unfortunate. This was back in like 1998, 99, according to what the dreaded dev wrote in this email to Ryan Carson. I'm grateful that Ryan Carson actually shared this, but I won't ruin any more of the actual, like, you guys have to read this email for yourself. I'll put a link in the description so you can access this Medium article by Ryan Carson. But one thing I actually wanted to point out, and the key thing about the analysis is, and this is going to be interesting, but within his introduction, in the very top part, my name is Gene, or I guess it's John, however you pronounce that name, Arroyo. I'm a 29-year-old newly minted front-end developer. I live in Tampa, Florida, and work now for a huge tech company in Silicon Valley. I work from home remotely and make a great salary. However, overall, life is a dream come true, but it wasn't always that awesome and good. So one of the things that I wanted to actually point out, that I had my hunches and my theories on earlier before in terms of why he deleted his channel. The main reason that I actually think that he deleted his channel, my main theory, is the fact that the company that he's working for, because we know that Dreaded Dev was very explicit. His language was out there. He cursed a lot, not much like a sailor, but much like somebody in the hood would curse. I would say that's how it came off to me. But it was very entertaining. It was there, and like I mentioned before, he had this charm. He was very charismatic, and him talking about web development, him sharing his experiences, made it very entertaining for him to listen to. So he really kind of was attaining this mastery of infotainment or edutainment, because I felt educated and entertained while listening to him. And though I'm not striving to be like Dreaded Dev, because one of the things that I learned from watching his videos is that you really have to learn who you are, especially when you're doing these videos, YouTube videos, Facebook videos, what have you. You have to learn who you are and make that really project through the camera. And while my sense of humor just kind of comes and it comes and goes, and depending on what I'm talking about, I could kind of insert it, kind of inch it in there a little bit. Most of the time, I'm a pretty serious guy, and very, I speak with a lot of conviction and passion, depending on what I'm talking about. So that's just me. That's just me. But I did learn that element from him, is that you have to be who you are when you're actually on camera, when you're actually trying to become a personality. You have to find what your personality is, but you have to also find ways to be different. So that's why I learned from him. So he even despite him cursing, I overlooked it because he was just so entertaining. He just was. He was very fun to listen to, and I looked forward to his content. So I'm really hoping that, wherever he is, that he comes back. But getting back to the overall theory, um, the fact that the company that he's with, he now works for a huge tech company in Silicon Valley. So my theory is just basically this: because he had explicit content, because he was starting to do things on the side, it is a huge possibility. He doesn't say what tech company this is, but it's a huge possibility that they required him to take all this stuff down while he's employed with this company. If he's made some sort of commitment, some loyal ties to whatever this huge tech company is in Silicon Valley, and he's working remotely, then if they're going to pay him what he was going to achieve here on YouTube, on just doing all this online stuff, the Patreon and all of that, then why not? Why not? And I understand that a lot of people, even if they're making good money at their companies that they're doing, they still have the YouTube channel and everything else. But if they're going to take care of him, then, hey, it may be worth getting rid of it. But I know some other people that's on that have these brands, like Mike Locke, another person who I follow. If y'all don't know who Mike Locke is, he's a really good person. I'll just go to his website. ML Webco. There we go. Okay. So I've been following Mike Locke since 2012. Been following him for a very long time. He's been doing online content, UI, UX information. So this is somebody that I would highly recommend you guys also check out as well. Love Mike Locke, but Mike Locke has said over times that he's, the actual number that he's actually said he's made, I believe in the six figures. I'm not gonna really just try to get specific. You have to go on his channel and just kind of watch and see what he's talking about. But he has these other things going on. He has his, let me see here. If I go to instructor, he has his ML UX Academy right now, where he, is offering these online courses and selling these memberships to people. He still has his YouTube channel. He's on LinkedIn. He has content, and he's been doing this for a while and making an additional revenue stream. So I don't, that would probably be the part that you may debate me on and try to argue. And, like, if I'm with the company, they're not going to make me delete my channel and do this. Well, hold on for a second. Hold on. Okay. Depending on what company you're with, there may be some requirements in terms of the time that you're with them, because you're representing them. You being an employee, you now represent that company. You're part of the face that they're choosing to carry, and they may not want you. They may want you to uphold a certain reputation. Me being a teacher right now, in addition to being a web designer and developer, there's a certain way I have to still behave, because I'm a public figure. Even though I'm just not out there on the streets, like, announcing that I'm a teacher, but I have to conduct myself a certain kind of way every time I step out of my house. Even if I'm not in this classroom at this moment, I have to conduct myself in a way to where I'm not stepping out of character, to where a student that I teach may see me and may see me behave a certain way. That stuff will get you on the news like quickly, so that may be one thing. Him cursing and doing his mannerisms, all of those things. If he's whatever company he's representing, they may have told him like, no, you need to, no, you gotta stop that. That's not that's not gonna work. That's not gonna work. Let me look up some dreaded dev images so I can put this on here. See what I could find real quick. All right, so let me just see here. So there's still some lingering traces of him. I don't even know how this made it, but let's just go ahead. This is one of his like YouTube thumbnails that he did have up here. Um, so yeah, yeah, but in any case, the company may have actually told him like, you're representing us now. We've employed you. This is how you need to conduct yourself. If you're online at this moment, you need to be in a very professional state. And him teaching and being and doing it his own unique way, there is a level of professionalism there, but the profanity for a lot of people is a huge turnoff. Unless you're a Gary Vaynerchuk and you have your own media brand and it's just you're not even trying to be employed by somebody, then you probably can get away with that. But maybe at this time he had a crossroad. He had a choice. He could either go ahead and continue to make the content that he was doing, continue to gain an audience. I'm pretty sure he would have gained the substantial following if he continued down that track, if he continued to gain a Patreon supporters and all these people, because people were loving his content. They would have supported it. I think he would have reached the Colin Moriarty and Kind of Funny Games sort of numbers, making it good like 5 figures. Let me see. Yeah, 5 figures a month. He could easily probably hit that over time, or maybe the company that he's with, whoever this huge startup is, or a tech company, if it's not even a startup, they're taking care of him. So whatever the case may be, it may be a downer for us, but I'm pretty confident that he's okay. Another thing that I actually wanted to point out too is this non-compete clause. Okay, he may not. I mean, with him doing the things that he's doing on the side, when he had the YouTube channel, the Patreon, and several other ventures, that he probably signed something that told him like, no, you not only are you representing us, but you're also competing against us, because if you're developing your own brand and you're starting to have your own, to teach the web design and teach the code and gaining your own monetary stream at this moment, you're competing with us. I'm probably not making much sense in talking about it like that, but I think you guys are getting the point. But let's define um non-competing. Let me see. I think I had a simpler definition. Okay, here we go. What is a non-compete agreement? A non-compete agreement is a contract between an employee and employer in which the employee agrees not to enter into competition with the employer during or after employment. These legal contracts prevent employees from entering into markets or professions considered to be in direct competition with the employer. So maybe his endeavors that he was involved doing, maybe it was providing some sort of competition. Who knows? Who knows at this moment? So that this is just a theory that I'm having, but it's very much so possible, because think about him, think about his personality, think about how he was gaining, some people, and the way that he was actually gaining an audience that could eventually become or became competition for whatever company he's working for, depending on what their business operations are. Um, and if it's a huge tech company that's involved in coding and creating certain products, maybe they require a certain level of commitment. And maybe they felt like him doing those endeavors was taken away from the commitment they required of him to do his job to the fullest. And that could have been maybe a legality in his non-compete agreement if he signed one, and that's only if he signed one. But like I said, this is all just me making an inference and just theorizing right now at this moment. Nothing to be set in stone. I just want to kind of give y'all some food for thought and explanation with some analysis, and just really dive in and doing some research here. I wanted to bring up an actual article too. Let me see if I can actually find it. Okay. All right, take it from a viral media star. Stop signing away your ideas. This is another, and I'll put the link for this article in the description too, but this is something else to actually consider. Whoever this person is, Gabby, this is actually from Gabby Done. So she was working with BuzzFeed and Thought Catalog. And in this article, she talks about how she she was just very excited. Like, she had a collection of essays or something like that, and the Thought Catalog had told her they'll publish them for her, and she just thought initially like, "Ooh, I'm going to be published, like this is so exciting." But some details that she did not check over was that she wasn't going to get a dime from this company based on the work that she did. And let me see if I can actually find that here. Not too long ago, I was desperate for paid work, so I gave away a lot of my ideas and rights. In 2003, 13, I'm sorry, in 2013, I was a staff writer for the website Thought Catalog, and they asked me if they could publish a book of my previously published TC essays. An editor and I put it together while I was salaried employee for no extra money. I did not receive any bonus or commissions on sales of the book, but wow, I had gotten to publish a book. Incredible. 3 years later, I no longer work at TC. I am more well known and have more fans. These fans find the book and excitedly purchase it thinking they're supporting me. But I don't see any of that money. The more high profile I become, the more the book sells for Thought Catalog. And a similar experience continued to happen on BuzzFeed. After that, I got hired at BuzzFeed, and it happened again. It happened again. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. I was excited to have a steady writing gig and thrilled by the $55,000 annual salary. Before being hired there, I had no idea the company had a YouTube presence, but I thought I'd stay a couple of months, find another industry gig, and peace out. I ended up staying 8 months because of the non-compete calls caused me to turn down other work and meetings that might have led to other work. There was a constant push and pull about how we could do outside of BuzzFeed and how much other projects would take time from our full-time jobs. Even the concept of time was up for debate. I stayed because I felt trapped. Okay. Wow, and they still own a Facebook page that has her face on it. She left in 2015, but whatever that Facebook page garners, that's all BuzzFeed. That's all BuzzFeed. And BuzzFeed, down here in the very end of the article, they actually say that. Let me see if I can find that too. Okay. They actually updated their let me see here, they updated their policies, an internal memo. They added an internal memo, but it says we're investing heavily in you. We do ask for a real commitment in return. Concretely, this means that the work you do while you're on BuzzFeed staff belongs to BuzzFeed, and that you can't work for other productions without our permission. Being part of BuzzFeed is a full-time job with many benefits and opportunities, and as with any full-time job, you're expected to be fully committed to your work and collaborating with your colleagues while you are here. Now, big possibility with Dreaded Death. Huge, same similar situation with him. He couldn't compete, couldn't do anything. All this other YouTube stuff that he's doing, having a Patreon, he's taking him doing that is splitting his time between what he can actually give commitment to with maybe this huge tech company and him having this extra revenue stream, and maybe he's getting paid enough by this huge tech company right now as we speak. I don't know. I don't know, but I wanted to go ahead and highlight this article to try to provide some more food for thought and some support to what my theory actually is, because there are companies out there, and this is to say there are companies out there. You cannot, the non-compete is not just solicitation and just selling something, but now with the high production of content and people getting into this video space, trying to have their own brands, trying to have their own personalities, and do all these other things, it could be a distraction and main takeaway from the primary employer that they're with. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. I leave you with the question: do you agree with any of this that I've said? Do you think this is a huge possibility that this may have been a reason Dreaded Dev had to get rid of all this stuff? Maybe there's some other reasons too we can actually look at, but I wanted to actually just kind of, throw this out there because I really love Dreaded Dev and I love this content, and that's all I'm definitely saying. And wherever he's at, I pray he's prospering, and if he does bring back and have some content, I'll be the first one to see it. All right, thank you guys for watching DLJ Works video. See y'all in the next video. God bless y'all. Underneath the video, go to the description, click the show more or read more area, click on the DLJ Works link listed here, and sign up to the mailing list to get content updates and exclusive service discounts and freebies from DLJ Works, and also become exclusive to content not available anywhere else.